Uncle Tom! Today's show, I am going to expose clear-cut Uncle Toms. The rich and powerful black Uncle Toms of America and all the white slave masters that they work with. These devils, all of them, because none of them whatsoever, we're not taking anyone out of the equation. They're devils. Complete devils. And today, in today's show, we're going to make sure we get to break that down. So, you know what time it is. And I know what time it is, right? It's time to educate some mofos. Please do remember that the New Right Party channel and the New Red Party show is sponsored by patriots like you. And as long as you're sending these donations, it allows me to create the content that will continue to make these motherfuckers sick. As you
Versus the family and my family entertainment and his team, no sleep, flossy, I ain't.
Good morning and good afternoon and good evening to everyone around the world. This is the show where you're going to get some common sense from an uncommon guy, man. I want to shout out to everybody that has subscribed, that is currently in the building, to everyone following the Instagram and the Twitter. We are working out here. Today's show, we're gonna get some exposing out here done. All right, that's what we're gonna do. And first thing I'm gonna do is, while I sit here and do some exposing, I'm going to allow some snippets from a good brother named Malcolm X. Now, during the time of this, he was a radicalized individual, but soon after he would learn from his mistakes and he would change his ways. But some of the rhetoric from this speech that I'm currently going to let you hear snippets from are currently happening today, in today's society. We're going to let one go and then we'll...
His mind, just as the slave master in that day used Tom, the house Negro, to keep the field Negroes in check. The same old slave master today has Negroes who are nothing but modern Uncle Toms, 20th century Uncle Toms, to keep you and me in check, keep us under control, keep us passive and peaceful and nonviolent. That's Tom making you nonviolent.
That's Tom.
It's like when you go to the dentist and the man is going to take your tooth. The world is out of his mind, just as the slave master in that day.
Let me bring that back.
Used Tom, the house Negro, to keep the field Negroes in check. The same old slave master today has Negroes who are nothing but modern Uncle Toms, 20th century Uncle Toms, to keep you and me in check, keep us under control.
That's what they're doing.
Keep us passive and peaceful and
nonviolent. Let's get some of these crooks out here.
Making you nonviolent.
That's Tom.
It's like when you go to the dentist and the man is going to take your tooth. You're going to fight him when he starts pulling. So they squirt some stuff in your jaw called Novocaine to make you think they're not doing anything to you. So you sit there and because you got all that Novocaine in your jaw, you suffer peacefully. The white man do the same.
You hear that? You suffer peacefully. And in this insert, when he says the white man, he's talking about white liberals. If you ever hear Malcolm X talk, he's specifically calling white liberals the problem. This fact hasn't changed today. In fact, they've actually gained the support more so of Black America. And you know who else is responsible for that? Jesse. Yeah, Jesse bitch ass. Let's get another insert out here, the brother, real quick. Malcolm X. Talking about these coons. Now, what? I'm sorry, they're not coons. Uncle Toms.
The slave master took Tom and dressed him well and fed him well and even gave him a...
Don't that sound like these niggas I'm surrounded by right now? Don't that sound like the story of all these niggas I'm surrounded by right now? Huh? That's what it sounds like, right?
A little education. Gave him a long coat and a top hat and made all the other slaves look up to him. Then he used Tom.
You hear that? Let me ask you a question. If the perm can't read Sharpton, if he was really, really a threat, why is he still alive? No one from that era that was a threat is alive. Why is he still alive?
To control them. The same strategy that was used in those days is used today by the same white man. He take a Negro, so-called...
The same white man is doing it today, people. The liberal white man is doing it today, people. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get into some shit. See, because I know a lot of you are saying to me, Tone, why are you going so hard on all these black folks? They can't be that bad. Well, let me play some shit for you real quick. Because if all these motherfuckers that I just had above, let me get back to this page real quick. For all these motherfuckers right here, every last one of these motherfuckers right here have the information that I'm going to show you. If all of them know what I'm going to show you, and I'm sure all of them do, then they're all part of the problem. They're all part of the problem. They're all enemies to all black people. They devils too. They're just as devilish as the same people who thought that segregating people and enslaving people was justified. The same people that sit there and tell you that the Republicans that helped free the slaves and lay their life on the line are the fucking racists. These same globalists have infiltrated both sides of the aisle and they have fucked up America. I'm going to expose these motherfuckers for what they are. Let's get into this Russian collusion shit. Let's get into that. Let's get into Russian collusion. Let me break this down. So let me get into the first token nigga out here that's been lying to you. Are you ready, guys? Shout out. The links are in the description to these links. You can see them for yourself.
A CNN news channel has apparently been filmed saying the network's Russia coverage is more about ratings than offering solid facts. Investigative journalism group Project Veritas has released a hidden camera video conversation. We're about to show you a clip, although RT's not yet been able to verify its authenticity.
Then why is CNN constantly like Russia this, Russia that?
Because it's ratings.
Because it's ratings?
Our ratings are incredible right now.
But honestly, you think the whole Russia is just like
I mean, it's mostly right now. Like, we don't have...
You heard that, people? But we're not finished. We're not finished, because this is the shit that we got to keep listening to every day about fucking Russian collusion, right? This is the shit we got to hear every fucking day, people. Every day I wake up, I hear Russian collusion, because apparently Russian collusion is more important than a dead fucking American, right? These pieces of shit. And these same fucking token house niggas are selling you the same shit, people. So you all are dumb and fucking stupid at the same time, fucking ignoring the facts of what's going on. Here we go. We got another link in the description too, y'all. I'm not one of them people. I like to get it out there for
A video has been released showing CNN presenter Van Jones ridiculing the network's Russia coverage.
What do you think's going to happen this week? I mean, with the whole Russia thing.
The Russia thing is just a big nothing burger.
Really? Yet another...
A big fucking nothing bird, people. A big fucking nothing bird. The same people reporting this shit to you every fucking day. Every day. Religiously, every day. Throwing it down your face every day. Russia's this, Russia's powerful, Russia's this, and the third are the same people behind the scenes saying it's a fucking nothing bird. You don't give a fuck about policies. These house niggas are bought and paid for. See, the thing is, there are a great number of patriots out here, and a lot of them are white. A lot of them are hardcore conservative black males. So they're not going to take the approach that this creative conservative will. What the fuck is a creative conservative? A conservative that believes in traditional conservative values, as well as understanding that today you also have to change with the times. How do I change with the times? Instead of me saying, no, I am not for illegal immigration, I'm going to say, fuck out of here in your illegal immigration. That's the difference. Do you understand? It's a more direct approach. See, allowing me to do this happened since our president started it first. He was a creative conservative. You understand? He told you years ago that fucking Republicans was idiots and he would have to come fix the party. And guess what he's done? Guess what he's doing? Guess what's happening right now? More people are letting their fucking balls hang. More people are saying that shit doesn't sound right. Get the fuck out of here with that dumb shit. Well, you know what? Every one of these motherfuckers on CNN knows this.
Hillary Clinton says she was her idol. Now, look, if Donald Trump...
Let me bring this back, people, okay?
Hillary Clinton received the Margaret Sanger Award. This is a woman who started an organization called Planned Parenthood, and that woman called black people human weeds. And Hillary Clinton says she was her idol. Now, look, if Donald Trump had openly endorsed a member of the Klan and was part of an organization that said that about that he accepted an award from, what would we be talking about now?
What would we be saying right now? What would we be saying right now? Margaret Sanger started eugenics, which changed its name to Planned Parenthood for social reasons, because they wanted to mask the fact that they wanted to commit mass murder on the African American population, which they're still currently doing. But you black bitches want to kill babies, don't you?
While Planned Parenthood still targets black Americans, continuing Margaret Sanger's policy to depopulate African American communities. Today, nearly 80% of their abortorium clinics are found in black neighborhoods. Most African Americans have been kept in the dark regarding their initial goals.
80%.
Faye Waddleton, former president of Planned Parenthood, said at Planned Parenthood's
Choke out house nigga. This bitch, Faye Waddleton, is the worst kind of black bitch you could fucking ever think about. She was there knowing that they was taking tissue from dead babies and selling them. She was there the whole entire time. She has no to practice. She has no the ins and outs. This bitch was compensated for her heartlessness, and she doesn't deserve to even be in America. We need to have a big prison for these motherfuckers where we could just dump them all and leave a bunch of hungry lions there waiting for them when we throw their ass off the fucking plane.
100th anniversary, quote.
And I'm not advocating violence. This is just a dream world. Fair use, motherfuckers. Fair use, motherfuckers. Fair motherfucking use. Okay? Fair motherfucking use. I'm saying fair use. Just in case you motherfuckers think it's a game. Fair use on everything. Okay?
As we celebrate the 100th anniversary of Margaret Sanger, our outrageous and our courageous leader, we will probably find a number of areas in which we may...
Now you see why I call this bitch this bitch? Now you see why I said this about this heartless bitch? About this fucking devil? Don't talk to me, black people, about how I talk about these motherfuckers that are killing us. Because when you're a black man and a black woman, these motherfuckers, these devils, are the reason why we out here failing. They're the real supremacists, trust me.
We find more about Margaret Sanger than we thought we wanted to know. Waddleton admitted in 1992 that Margaret Sanger advocated, quote, eugenics and the advancement of the perfect race, end quote. Despite targeting blacks for elimination in Planned Parenthood's 1985 annual report, leaders of the organization proclaimed that they were, quote, proud of our past and planning for our future. Tragically, they have been planning the future of the African American children for years, as African Americans are the only minority race that has not grown since Roe versus Wade, thanks mostly to genocide at the hands of Planned Parenthood. Planned Parenthood should be called Planned Parenthood.
Did you hear that, people? This is the only population that has not flourished since Roe versus Wade.
As they murder more black children in 1 hour than the Ku Klux Klan did in their entire history.
They got y'all out here trying to fight Roe versus Wade, and they got all these white people trying to stop Roe versus Wade from being overturned because these white liberals are more than happy with a bunch of niggas killing themselves. Wake up. Leave the plantation, man. You gotta be brave to be here, man. This ain't the seat for everybody, man. But if you tired people, man, come fuck with your boy.
Margaret Sanger, Planned Parenthood's founder, admitted, quote, "Always to me, any aroused group was a good group, and therefore I accepted an invitation to talk to the women's branch of the Ku Klux Klan." Sanger could relish in such racist speaking engagements with the KKK because she believed the following and stated, quote, "The masses of Negroes," as she stated, particularly in the South, still breed carelessly and disastrously, with the result that the increase among Negroes, even more than amongst whites, is from the portion of the population least intelligent and fit, end quote. In Margaret Sanger's periodical, The Birth Control Review, an article by L. Stoddard, one of Sanger's board of directors, we read about the, quote, "rising tide of color against white world supremacy." And we also read that we must resolutely oppose the inundation of those non-white and inferior races. In no uncertain terms, Sanger, like Adolf Hitler, believed in forced eugenics and race control, even through murder. Sanger declared, quote, "The
This is Hillary Clinton's idol, people.
undeniably feeble-minded should indeed not only be discouraged, but prevented from propagating their kind," end quote. Thankfully, more and more African Americans, like the National Pro-Life Black Union, are protesting Planned Parenthood over their directed assault at slaughtering mass black babies. In Margaret Sanger's
They ain't give them $100 million like they gave Black Lives Matter.
book, The Woman and the New Race, she wrote, quote, "The most merciful thing a large family can do to its infant members is to kill it." Margaret Sanger, like her Nazi
Black Lives Matter ain't call that group up and say we're gonna donate you shit.
contemporaries and her Nazi ally declared that, quote, "Eugenics is the most adequate and thorough avenue to the solution of racial, political, and social problems." She said, quote, "Eugenic sterilization is an urgent need. We must prevent multiplication of this bad stock." Sanger, echoing Hitler's eugenics program, stated, quote, "Give dysgenic groups..."
People, they're pushing socialism, trying to keep Democrats in power. They have already done a form of preemptive Nazi Germany-like methods of slaughtering people, and they've done so under the guise of something called Planned Parenthood, which was originally called eugenics. This bitch was cool with Hitler, knew Hitler, has talked to members of the Nazi Party, has written multiple thesis for them, and it's been published in tons of different German publishings at the time. Her and other eugenicists frequently traveled Nazi Germany to look at the conditions of the Jews and the castrated blacks that were there. They actually castrated blacks in Germany, removing their testicles so they would be unable to breed.
People with bad genes.
Why am I throwing these black people, these monkey motherfuckers, right here, under the bus? I'm doing it because they have the information. They know it. They don't tell you about it. They know who this bitch is. They know what this party is doing. They're trying to save themselves, not realizing if they save everyone together, they'll be saved. They niggas. All colors. Doesn't matter. White nigga, Latin nigga, black nigga. They're not niggas. They're not N-I-G-A-S. They are N-I-G-G-E-R-S. House niggas. Let me get back to this.
In our population, their choice of segregation or compulsory sterilization.
An organization whose founder believed in eugenics.
They're gonna call him all type of names in the book though, but look how he stood up. Look how someone from the Trump's organization with the knowledge is speaking up about it. And they don't even say that he's in his cabinet. You know, they never even show this brain surgeon, this beautiful black man, this great conservative, this patriot.
Talking about Margaret Sanger.
Yes, and even today, the plurality of their clinics are in minority communities.
Mm-hmm. Well, doesn't that make the argument that they would make, which is that the services that you're talking about, forget abortion for a second, but the services you're talking about are not available everywhere, and that's where minorities and people who are lower income get mammogram.
Look how Ben just looked at him just now. Let me bring that back. Look how Ben just looked at him just now like, are you fucking stupid? Listen, look how Ben looked at him when he talked.
Are in minority communities.
Mm-hmm. Well, doesn't that make the argument that they would make, which is that...
Watch how Ben look at this motherfucking racist when he's finished.
The services that you're talking about...
Look how he lied with a straight face.
forget abortion for a second, but the services you're talking about are not available everywhere, and that's where minorities and people who are lower income get mammograms and treatment for STDs and birth control, etc.
I thought that they were supposed to be able to get all of those things based on Obamacare. Why do we
need
Planned Parenthood?
But for Planned Parenthood itself, because Planned Parenthood says none of the tax dollars go to fund abortion on these tapes, you wonder how some might many make money off of it. There's no way of knowing it right now. What we do know is it's a controversial group, but Democrats have seized on Republicans' concerns about Planned Parenthood as being a war on women, that you're out to get women.
Well, maybe I'm not objective when it comes to Planned Parenthood, but, I know who Margaret Sanger is. And I know that she believed in eugenics and that she was not particularly enamored with black people. And one of the reasons that you find most of their clinics in black neighborhoods is so that you can find a way to control that population. And I think people should go back and read about...
People, do you think that if this man, as brilliant as he is, all people I'm talking to now, not just black folks, but black folks, you need to fucking listen to me real good right now, man. If this man in all his brilliance is exposing her, knows what she's done, you don't think that he's done his due diligence on Donald Trump? You don't think that after working for him for over 2 years and having to be around this man enough to know, you don't think that he would know what type of pedigree he is, and you don't think that he would say something? That'd be fucking stupid. Why say something on national television? Why have the whole fucking Democratic aisle coming at you, knowing what they're going to try to do once you disclose what's going on? The eugenics, the destruction of a black population. Why do you think they keep calling Donald Trump a racist? Because he told you in the inner city they got you looking fucked up and he's not doing shit for you. Let me help. What the fuck the worst can happen if you let me help you? They try to take it and turn it and say he's a racist because he said what's the worst that can happen. What the fuck is the worst that can happen? You've let every other fucking racist president in to fuck shit up for this country. What's the worst that can happen now that everything good is happening? Pay attention, people, man. Motherfuckers really woke out here. It's few of us. It's hard for us to stop this big machine, but if we all get together, we all could be saved. Wake up.
Margaret Sanger, who founded this place, a woman who Hillary Clinton, by the way, says that she admires. Look and see what many people in Nazi Germany thought about her.
This week, Ben Carson made several remarks surrounding Planned Parenthood that many would call conspiracy theories.
Well, maybe I'm not objective when it comes to Planned Parenthood, but, I know who Margaret Sanger is. And I know that she believed in eugenics and that she was not particularly enamored with black people. And one of the reasons that you find most of their clinics in black...
Nazis have infiltrated our government. They have done so with the procurement of scientists. They have done so with the starting of the Central Intelligence Division, which was started and helped by Prescott Bush. We're going to get into all of these things. I'm going to break these things down to you people. I'm not going to just sit here and just let it just go by without me saying something. I'm going to show you facts. There's real Nazis here, man. They're all the liberals. And there's black Nazis with them. They don't give a fuck about us.
Neighborhoods is so that you can find a way to control that population. And I think people should go back and read about Margaret Sanger, who founded this place, a woman who Hillary Clinton, by the way, says that she admires. Look and see what many people in Nazi Germany thought about her.
All these people know about her.
That she was for targeting certain races, right?
A great person, yes.
Ben Carson is right. He is right on. Margaret Sanger was a vile racist and a massive proponent of eugenics. She admired the Nazi regime's campaign for forced sterilization and ridding the human race of the so-called unfit.
His channel,
Ben Carson specifically calls out the fact that Planned Parenthood is strategically placing centers in black communities where they can control the black population through abortions and through other birth control.
See, the thing is, when this white brother talks about it, black folks aren't going to listen. Because they're going to say, he's a black guy, what does he know about it? That's the reason why I'm here, Link. That's the reason why I'm here. Because I'm going to let them hear it too. I'm going to let them hear the truth so they understand. Anyone telling you that they for this crooked bitch is telling you they're for the destruction of not only America, but of black America first and foremost. They understand that when it's time for the battle cry to happen, that every real black patriot in this country will stand up like their ancestors did, and they will fight against tyranny, and they will not let anyone become enslaved ever again. They're trying to remove all the weapons that we need to defend ourselves from what they're trying to have happen, and they're trying to do it to the whole fucking world. I am not just responsible for Americans. Me protecting Americans protects everyone else on this fucking planet. That's why. Because what you think happens when they destroy everything we worked for. If you think other nations won't come in here to split the pie, you're foolish. Stop believing that socialism is going to work. Nazi Germany was socialist. That's how it started. Then they removed the guns. Then they threw Jews in ovens. Currently, right now, I'm showing you there's laws currently on the books, Rex 87, that will allow you to be put in fucking ovens. All minority groups and all sympathizers alike. Meaning all Americans that are not part of the globalist system. There will be 500 million people on this planet when it is all said and done. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, I'm someone that is reading the information and I'm actually understanding what the fuck I'm reading. And I'm not allowing anyone around me, none of these motherfuckers, none of these pieces of shit, to interfere with me being sound in judgment. None of these motherfuckers will fuck up anything that comes in front of me because I'm going to analyze it, I'm going to break it down, and I'm going to find the facts in it. Sad the brother's talking.
Pastor Clenard Childress Jr. has put together a very well-informed, very well-presented website called blackgenocide.org. I encourage you to check it out. He has lots of good information about this.
I encourage you to go check it out too, please.
This very massive direct attack on the black community, but the mainstream media ignores it. And the Democrats and the leftists and the Hillary Clintons all ignore the fact that almost 1,900 black babies are aborted every single day in this country. You know, Pastor Childress was the first one to, following the Black Lives Matter protest in Ferguson.
1,900 black babies are aborted in America every single day. The most dangerous place for a black baby to be isn't in front of a cop. It isn't on an airplane. It isn't being struck with cancer. It's being in the womb of a black woman. They are 9 times more likely to be aborted than any other child on this planet. And the left has educated black America to believing that this is a right they have, which is murder. If a female is 4 months pregnant, 4 weeks pregnant, she's 3 weeks pregnant, and I go and kick her in the stomach, and she loses the baby, I go to jail for murder. That's murder. 80% of these murder houses are in African American communities. 1,900 black babies will not be born today, tomorrow, the day after, and the day after that, and the day after that, and the day after that, and the day after that. 1,900. You guys think I'm bugging because I'm telling you you don't have a right to kill? There are tons of things you can do, like teaching responsibility. We all know abstinence is probably out the window for most Americans. Well, why wouldn't you go get tested, get condoms, or use some form of birth control? I understand a lot of people are getting adverse effects to the birth control because these are chemicals. You need to use condoms. They also have Plan B pills. So when people tell me that they were raped and this, that, and the third, unless it's a special case of someone being in a coma or something to the effect of that. Whenever you are raped currently now, you are given a cocktail of Trucera, which fights against HIV/AIDS, and you are also giving the Plan B morning after pill. You're giving a shot for every STD that you can possibly have. They will give it to you as a precaution. It is a cocktail. I am not accepting excuses for murdering 1,900 black babies every single day in this country. And individuals like this brother here that's speaking are overlooked every single day because the factual information is tossed to the side and it's labeled racist because a white man is saying it, and that's not fair. Because the same white people are telling you that he's racist are the same white people that are causing the real problems, the real racists.
Called attention to the fact that all Black lives matter. And then this is morphed into all lives matter. Because at the end of the day, if Americans will not stand up for innocent babies that are being murdered through this very aggressive propagandizing of abortion throughout this country, especially in communities with minorities, who will we stand up for?
In 1939, Margaret Sanger, co-founder of Planned Parenthood, started the Negro Project.
I got your ass for a little while today. I'm not going to keep you short.
With the aim of slowing and then reversing the growth of the black population. A staunch advocate of eugenics, the so-called science of purifying the human gene pool, Sanger viewed certain races, especially blacks, as genetically inferior and inclined towards producing human weeds. Reckless breeders spawning human beings who never should have been born. Sanger's strategy, still followed by Planned Parenthood today, involved recruiting so-called progressive black leaders who were persuaded that slowing back birth rates was a key to their people's future success and prosperity. A profoundly disproportionate number of abortion clinics were placed near the inner cities. And since then, an equally disproportionate number of our African American population, more than 15 million, has been weeded out by abortion.
On this fundamental issue, I will not yield, and Planned Parenthood will not yield. Because we know that what's at stake is more than whether or not a woman can choose an abortion. Choices about how we lead our lives.
Don't talk to me about this president.
As the most pro-abortion candidate in American history, Barack Obama will make sure this weeding continues.
In 1916, H.G. Wells' lover, Margaret Sanger, starts her promotion of eugenics in the United States. In 1923, Sanger receives massive funding from the Rockefeller family. Sanger wrote to fellow eugenicist Clarence J. Gamble that black leaders would need to be recruited to act as frontmen in sterilization programs directed against black communities. In 1924, Hitler pens Mein Kampf, or My Struggle, and credits U.S. eugenicist as his inspiration.
I admire...
Wait a second, y'all. So let me just play this back so y'all can hear this real quick, because this came from Hitler. Let me go back to where she got her bread from. Zionist Jew, family still currently funding, Democratic Liberal Movement, and then we'll let that dirty hoe talk.
As the most pro-abortion candidate in American history, Barack Obama will make sure this weeding continues.
In 1916, H.G. Wells' lover, Margaret Sanger...
Let it have you, though. Alex Jones is a racist. And he's a liar. But why is this white man telling the truth about a bunch of racists?
Starts her promotion of eugenics in the United States. In 1923, Sanger receives massive funding from the Rockefeller family. Sanger wrote to fellow eugenicist Clarence J. Gamble that black leaders would need to be recruited to act as frontmen in sterilization programs directed against black communities. In 1924, Hitler pens Mein Kampf, or My Struggle, and credits U.S. eugenicist as his...
Didn't I tell you that Nazi Germany, that Hitler's party was socialist first? Didn't I tell you that? Didn't I tell you that eugenicists like Margaret Sanger frequent Germany with their propaganda? Didn't you just hear that Hitler clearly gave credit for his thinking in Mein Kampf to American eugenicists? Do you think I'm fucking playing?
It's inspiration.
I admire Margaret Sanger enormously. Her courage, her tenacity, her vision. I am really in awe of her.
By 1927, eugenics hit the mainstream.
She had courage because she had enough courage to eloquently say black people are not worth living.
Called science was,
and Hillary Clinton feels the same way.
Aggressively pushed through.
All Democrats do. Everyone that's for her definitely does.
Contest at schools, churches, and at state fairs. Churches competed in contest with big cash prizes to see who could best implement eugenics into their sermons. Major denominations then tell Americans that Jesus is for eugenics. That same year in the United States, more than 25 states passed forced sterilization laws, and the Supreme Court ruled in favor of brutal sterilization policies.
And the Supreme Court was a majority of Democrats.
Hitler came to power in 1933. One of his first acts was to pass national eugenics laws, modeled after laws in the United States. The Nazi brand of eugenics had embarrassed the elites, but they had no intention of stopping their plans.
Are you prepared to see this in America? Are you truly prepared to watch this happen to American citizens? Innocent, defenseless children, babies, women, and old elderly people? Are you prepared to be strong with me and get my word out? Get this channel out there. Get this information out there. Help me fight.
The Allies literally fought with each other over who would get top Nazi eugenicist. It didn't matter if the SS doctors had tortured tens of thousands to death. They were free to go. The Angel of Death, Joseph Mengele, and his boss, Otmar von Verscher, were not prosecuted, and von Verscher even continued his work in Germany after the war. Eugenicists were angry that their great work had been exposed. They then scrambled to camouflage their agenda. Eugenics Quarterly became Social Biology. The American Birth Control League became Planned Parenthood. New terms like transhumanism, population control, sustainability, conservation, and environmentalism replaced racial hygiene and social Darwinism.
Mrs. Margaret Sleeve, president of America's Planned Parenthood Federation, maintains that European women should stop having babies for the next 10 years.
Don't you think such a theory, such a radical theory, is antisocial?
On the contrary, it seems to me that it is more practical and humane.
What about the women who want babies now and in 10 years will not be able to have babies? Rather impractical, don't you think?
Oh, John, you do ask hard questions. I should think that instead of being impractical, it is really very practical and intelligent and humane.
Well, Planned Parenthood has had a startling agenda from its inception, started by a woman whose goal in part was controlling the black population through abortion and sterilization. Margaret Sanger, with the goal of controlling the black population and other groups that she thought of the same. Here's a look back at at abortion and the providers, what they've done to minorities.
Abortion is black genocide. What happens to a mind of a person and the moral fabric of a nation that can accept the aborting of a child without a pang of conscience?
In many black communities, for every child actually born, 3 others are aborted, more than double the rate among whites. Dr. Clinner Childress, founder of BlackGenocide.org, says the consequences of those figures will eventually end up destroying a whole race of Americans.
African Americans here in this country are the only ethnic group in any place on the globe that's not replacing themselves. This is genocide.
Some say abortion is the #1 killer in the black community, leading more and more African American churches to speak out and take a stand for life. Bishop Daniel Robertson of Richmond's Mount Gilead Baptist Church says black pastors have a
How many of these
responsibility
news
to their
organizations
communities
you
to
seen
do more.
actually
We really
talking
need to
about
just,
these issues?
You know, make a statement to the community that we believe the Bible. Thou should not kill.
But Robertson's church does more than just preach against abortion. For one, they encourage their members to consider adopting these unplanned children.
We go to the abortion clinics and ask people.
So someone like Ben Carson, who's clearly exposed Planned Parenthood for eugenics, who's clearly against black genocide, why would Donald Trump, if he was a racist, why would he even hire him to be a part of, to run HUD? Why would he do that? I'm trying to figure it out, people. I'm trying to figure out the arguments that people have when they call this man a racist.
There are other alternatives.
I think he's real fucking smart.
Because we try to educate people, let them know you don't have to do this.
And the least racist person you know.
And so we do have that ongoing ministry. And then because our doors are open and we preach the message of Jesus Christ, we do try to give people hope.
In his book, No Shepherd's Cry, Childress says the black church can no longer be silent on the issue.
If there's a devouring force that is decimating my community, as a shepherd, I must respond with the truth and deliver the lamb with its young from the wolf and the devourer. And the devourer is the abortion industry.
Dr. Childress points out this should come as no surprise, considering that black Americans were long ago targets of the abortion industry. In the early 20th century, Margaret Sanger founded Planned Parenthood, an organization that later became the nation's largest abortion provider. Sanger encouraged abortion and sterilization to limit the size of black families. Childress says she also used the unaware black minister to further her agenda.
Margaret Sanger, a devout racist, a eugenics, and the author of the Negro Project, knew that the colored minister was going to be pivotal in getting
and the co-author in Nazi Germany
her program across.
Because of that, both Robertson and Childress believe black clergy must take the lead in fighting against abortion.
The colored minister, the Negro minister.
So now, to break it down, people, these Uncle Toms and these pictures are the epitome of what evil is. They're telling you they're for her, and she's for the destruction of our great nation, and definitely a Nazi Klans member. Sympathizer, lover. She has always been, talking about Hillary. She has always been someone that has been against not only America and transforming the nation into a great nation, but she's also been someone who's always been against the existence of the black American population. She was a Goldwater girl. She was outside with pickets against Martin Luther King. Her heroes, Klans members who were Senate members, and Margaret Sanger, who is the founder of Black Genocide in America, is her hero. All of these Uncle Toms in these pictures knows exactly what she is and who she is, and they're all bought and sold. They've all received nice clothing and pretty living conditions, so they can sell out the house. So they can sell out the field Negroes and the field whites in the field Hispanics. Because currently now, racism won't stop at a color. They're going to destroy all of the Americans if they can. They are allowing known Nazis like George Soros to fund these pussy groups like Antifa, which are basically just propaganda groups used by the media to make it seem like there is a militant group out there that can really fuck with us. But they can't. When them pussies take off the masks and them t-shirts is covering their heads, they're going home to their house and they have to take off their sneakers at the front door because their mama smacked the shit out of them if they don't. It's the truth. They're running home to video games and they're sitting in front of them and then they're online talking a bunch of bullshit to each other and saying a bunch of tough shit to each other because life is just a video game. When they die in the game, they respawn. They respawn meaning they are reproduced in the game. So to them, life isn't real. They don't understand the existence of here and gone. They're young, ignorant kids being used to further propagandize the bullshit that the left continues to regurgitate. The left is destroying all poor people because the remaining 20% of Planned Parenthoods are in poor white neighborhoods. Where we all smell like Walmart. They don't have them in Beverly Hills. No. You gotta go down to LA for that. Not at all. You're not gonna find them there. Go to Park Ave in Manhattan. Go deep in Manhattan. Go look for Planned Parenthood. See where you find them. You're gonna have to go to Harlem or something like that. You're definitely not gonna find them in Lower Manhattan. No, you're not. Ask Hillary Clinton if she has a family member that was ever faced with the idea of an abortion. I guarantee you that is a thought that she couldn't even fathom answering. But she's an advocate for the destruction of babies, defenseless while they're growing in the wombs. I know that there are tons of females out there that are pressured by men to have abortions, but how about you pressure them first to put on a condom? You can't have it if you can't give it to them. How about you pressure them to put on a condom first? We have to be responsible. We have to bring children into this country prepared to be productive citizens, and we have to prepare ourselves for what's to come because it is not going to be easy. There is a great number of individuals that are against us, and they have selected so many other Uncle Toms that they can to further the agenda of the destruction of America. If, as a black man, I can't talk for white men that are talking for black people, then I'm part of the problem. Alex Jones isn't a racist. He isn't a conspiracy theorist. He is someone that is open-minded and free of thought, and he is someone that gives you information and how he retains it. Someone like him of his stature, if he was a racist, if he believed Trump was a racist, I highly doubt that one, he would have attacked Trump when he thought Trump was wrong, even though he did apologize. And also, why would he choose Trump if he thought he was a racist when clearly he's against racism? He's against eugenics. Did you see all of those bodies that were rolled over in dumpsters? Do you fathom what it was during slavery time? Can you understand what it was like for those ships? Do you want this whole planet to be a prison? where babies are forcibly raped and taken away from mothers, no matter of the color, where people get to decide if you get to have a child and who you get to procreate with, meaning who you fuck. People, wake up. Good morning, Uncle Tom. So I'm the coon here to fuck your shit up. Now I'm here to put my big black balls on your couch and put my feet on your end table. And I'm gonna get my Rick James on. Every last one of these motherfuckers that I have posted in these pictures are fucking straight Uncle Toms. None of them deserve your respect. Every last one of these sons of bitches are devils. They're working with devils that are trying to stop everything that can make this nation great. In order for us to make this nation great, we have to call these fucking devils out for who and what the fuck they are. The same motherfuckers that started segregation, the same motherfuckers that were against desegregation, same motherfuckers that were for slavery, same motherfuckers that had slaves, same motherfuckers that started eugenics, same motherfuckers over and over and over and over the fuck again. Same motherfuckers. Take them a couple niggas, dress them up real nice, and give them just chuck and jive for you. Shoot the shit. Yeah, ask Donna Lemonade when the last time Donna Lemonade has been to the projects. Ask Donna Lemonade when's the last time Donna Lemonade has slept in a trailer park. Ask when Donna Lemonade has ever had to work a 40-hour shift of fucking physical labor in order to make sure that the lights is paid and there's fucking food in the refrigerator. Ask Donna that. Ask the perm Ken Reed Sharpton to read a Cat in the Hat book. Then ask him to read legislation filed by the Clintons on the new justice laws, on the 3 strikes and federal guideline laws, mandatory minimums. Ask him to read them and stipulate them to you. Ask this illiterate nigga to read a Cat in the Hat book to you. This motherfucker can't read a teleprompter. The nigga couldn't read his way through a newspaper prison. And he's a leader? This nigga is a leader? Do you know what he's a fucking road manager? He was never a fucking preacher. I got a fucking PhD. I'm an ordained minister. I never say that shit. I'm never out here trying to kick a sermon to you or get religious with you and tell you what the fuck God or Jesus is going to do, because he's a part of your fucking eugenics. One of them preachers that they indoctrinated, that they used. I'm not here to give you the word or nothing but the fucking truth. Raw. Uncut. That real shit. That fuck that, I'm fucking tired of the bullshit. That honest from my heart, I'm not playing with you. I done had it all, I done lost it all. I'm not gonna be here forever. I understand that. See, because this is what's gonna make these motherfuckers bow down to us. When you comprehend the fact that you don't have forever. You don't have to worry about saving yourself. You can worry about saving others. And if more people worry about saving others, then we're going to have a great nation. But the more and more of us allow this self-centered mentality that has been cultivated by the left to continue to infiltrate our families and our hearts to exist, we're going to lose. If I was worried about me, I wouldn't be doing this. I'd still be doing illegal shit. I'd still be making records. I'd still be in clubs. I'd still be worrying about which chick is going to suck my dick differently. I'd still be worrying about shopping for different stupid shit. I don't give a fuck about none of that. I don't got forever. Neither do you. Are you worried about protecting a little bit of time you have here? Or are you really worried about protecting everyone else's? That's the only social nationalism you should ever have in your heart. It's the protection of everyone else's right to be an American that is an American. That's the only true form of socialism that should ever exist. Because me working hard and taking care of other motherfuckers that don't want to work hard isn't a form of socialism. It's a form of pandering beggars. And it's a big difference. Those who need do not have to beg for it because their needs are apparent. Those are the ones who cannot defend for themselves, which are babies, pregnant women, and elderly people. When you are competent and you have the ability to think and move and work, then you can work and provide for these individuals. That means stop putting your fucking family in old folks' home. Stop aborting your fucking babies. Stop leaving your pregnant wives for some new hot bitch because now she's pregnant. Stick around. Stop being pregnant and feeling like because you're pregnant, you're mad at everyone because you're pregnant. Don't blame the baby. Don't allow a joy coming into your life to bring you depression because your body's changing. Your body's changing in order to have a life happen. Embrace who you are. Love the person that you are. Stop waking up and feeling like you need to put makeup on to be better. And for some people, I understand this is something that you need. You want to cover skin problems, and I'm for that. I understand that. But currently, there are a lot of people abusing the fact that they can just do it. Start living. Start going outside. Start going for walks. Start cutting your phones off. Start living. Start traveling and going to different neighborhoods. Start stopping and telling people, hey, have a great day. Start living. Start listening to people talk. Start to listen to people's opinion. And even if you disagree with them, let them have their say. Start doing it. And if you can't get the point across to them, then just start to walk away. Start living. You don't have to wake up hateful and unhappy. You don't have to blame someone for something that you feel is keeping you down. You can get up and make it happen. Start living. As Americans, we have the greatest ability than anyone on the planet because we really get to choose what the fuck can happen tomorrow. I'm asking you to wake up. Take the time to view everything that I've played. I can't tell you I'm the best person to tell you everything. I wish I didn't have the responsibility of feeling like I need to be responsible to do this. I don't want to wake up and see hateful shit being said to me or even about my family because I'm telling you what's happening. I'm asking you to live because there's a great chance that we may lose too. There's a great chance we could lose. I don't want to spend everything that I have not telling you the truth and not living. There were a bunch of people in Germany that would have never thought that millions of them would just be thrown in ovens and die. They sat in the country while the world watched it happen. Who do you think really going to get involved with that? Who? They're going to watch it happen. I didn't ask for it. I didn't raise my hand and say, let me start saying this shit so I can fucking look crazy and be called crazy too. I didn't. I had a dream. I was told something, and I woke up, and I was different. And that's the best I could tell you. Everything I communicate with you is something that I can personally tell you I know is a fact. I am not stipulating anything. I don't add stipulation to anything that I'm giving you. I ask you clearly to think for yourself. I ask you clearly to think for yourself. I'm asking you to change your parties. I'm asking you to have party views. I'm asking you to be an American, and I'm asking you to put Americans first. I'm asking you to go outside if you're a Democrat, and if you see a Republican with a Trump hat on, I'm asking you to have tolerance for this person's difference, because it's their human right to disagree with you anyway. For you to think that someone has to agree with you and somehow you need to physically assault them because they don't means you're fucking retarded. That's not some sane shit. And then you can try to rationalize it. And for people that don't understand what that means, it means that you can try to make excuses for it in your head where it's okay that you physically assault someone because they feel different than you. Then if that's okay, then it's okay to hang black people because they're black. We cannot have it both ways. We cannot have it both ways. We gotta fight the system. We gotta say fuck the system. I put Trump in office because I'm fucking the system every chance I get. And they gonna wipe my little black ass off this internet, off this planet. And in the bigger scheme of things, I'm not gonna even matter. But everybody getting together is something history will always talk about. There's never one real soldier that they talk about in any real epic battles unless they probably saved some people and kind of brought them back. But for those that really sacrificed it all and lost it all, their names are maybe written on the wall and their stories are but the dust in the wind. Those are the true stories that made the difference that you're never gonna hear. They easily took Alex off the air. They easily killed Martin in broad daylight. They killed Kennedy in broad daylight. They tried to kill Reagan in broad daylight, then they made his punk ass bow down. They already tried to kill Trump. A Secret Service agent died. What more do we need to see? 1,900 babies, black, every day, today, tomorrow, the next day, day after that, dead. All of them. Five years ago, not even, 10 years ago, I was a bad guy. 5 years ago, I was a man still making bad decisions. Today, I am not the same person. If I can change, you can too. You don't have to hurt anybody. You don't gotta sell something that's gonna get you locked up. You can find a job. Over 1 million of them out there right now still needing to be filled. You can get vocational training. Currently, the president has made it happen and made it possible. These are things that the left don't disclose, because if they do, then it would show their facade. I'm going to get out my feelings and out the facts for a second, and I'm going to get in my chat. You want to see what everybody's talking about? Let me give a shout out to everybody that I can that's in the chat. And normally I go to the top of the chat, so you guys are gonna see me trying my best to get in there, but I know I've been on for a minute, so let me try. Okay, Maurice, Dope, shout out to you. Rizal, shout out to you. Jolly, shout out to you. Let Freedom Ring, shout out to you. Ilya, shout out to you. Walter, shout out to you. That's Walter Dallahan. Subconscious, shout out to you. Activist Granny, shout out to you. Kisiro 1000, shout out to you. Mark Miller, shout out to you. Dina Murray, shout out to you. Donald Chancellor, shout out to you. Spellcheck, shout out to you. Jonathan Cruz, shout out to you. Duchess Mopar, shout out to you. Bug 5353, shout out to you. Ian Kesey, shout out to you. Rockin' Dalladina, shout out to you. Joseph Velasquez, shout out to you. Jen V, shout out to you. Sean Maville, shout out to you. Donald John Trump, shout out to you. Lance the Grumpy Fisherman, shout out to you. Laura Moss, shout out to you. For the People too, shout out to you. Made by the Cloud, shout out to you. One AFSYM, shout out to you. Michelo Lauren, shout out to you. Michelo Lauren, shout out to you. Palmera Enriquez, shout out to you. Thank you for the super chat. Dina Marie, shout out to you for that. Tipika Atkins, shout out to you. James Williamson, shout out to you. You know, the whole point of this show, my people, was to educate as many as I could on the facts of what was happening.
African-American town. And I haven't seen the direct sources on this, but I think she even had a problem with fundamentalist Christians. So as they were flooding into America, and she was saying maybe we have to keep their numbers down. Well, not maybe. She thought their numbers should be kept down. And I haven't seen the direct sources on this, but I think she even had a problem with fundamentalist Christians. So she was all for eugenics. And, you know, the Nazis used her stuff to fashion their programs. And also, she talked to the KKK. She was at one of their rallies and was rousingly cheered. So this woman is sort of a nightmare for people who are defending Planned Parenthood. They really don't want you to know much about Margaret Sanger's past.
Indeed. Well, do you think most people know the history of Planned Parenthood, especially right now, lawmakers who are debating whether the government should use our tax dollars to defund it?
Not only do most people not know the history at all, they don't even know what Planned Parenthood is doing today. This fact that they do more abortions than anybody else in America. In fact, if Planned Parenthood was a country, it would have the 6th highest rate of abortions in the entire world. Most Americans don't know that Planned Parenthood does abortion. So that's the problem here.
Here's the thing, right? If Planned Parenthood really helped African Americans, then since they cause you an instrument of death, why don't they help you with paternal care? Why don't they have supplements that they give pregnant women? Why don't they have programs for pregnant women, if that's the case? Like prenatal healthcare programs for them. Why doesn't Planned Parenthood provide that? They don't. When people argue about Planned Parenthood and they tell you that they provide things for women such as checkups and not only abortion, but they provide checkups and birth control, ask them why they don't provide you with prenatal care. Ask them that. Ask them why they don't provide you with prenatal care. Why is it never something that they provide?
Absolute lack of knowledge. Most people just think that they're giving women like reproductive health advice and contraceptives, things like that. And what's interesting, there's so many places, 10 times more the number of clinics that are doing these things than Planned Parenthood. If Planned Parenthood disappeared tomorrow, women's health, reproductive health, would be totally taken care of, except for maybe this question of abortions.
Now, you talk to a lot of pro-lifers. What are you hearing from them?
They have to pay for that shit themselves.
Well, I think that they are they're somewhat hopeful, but what's interesting to me is this solid wall of opposition as this defunding of Planned Parenthood comes up. And I kind of want to talk about that philosophy, why this is, because you would think as evidence piles up, people would be going, maybe I need to change my mind on this. But I think what we're seeing is that as the conscience has been seared over the decades, people have to prevent cognitive dissonance in the brain, they have to say, well, I'm right about this because maybe this isn't really a life, or this is different than the life of people after they're born, out of the womb. So I think what you're seeing is people trying, they have to stay opposed to it, because what happens in their own minds, what happens in their own hearts, if they say, this is not really, this is a baby, this is indeed a life, this is someone just like me, this is just like my children. So I think that's why you're seeing such a solid wall of opposition, and I think that's going to be an intensely hard thing to crack. So watch for that. Watch to see how does this wall of solid pro-choice opposition get even firmer as more and more of these videos come out, where you would think it would crack the wall. Instead, I bet the wall gets higher and higher.
I bet it does. I bet the wall does get higher and fucking higher and higher.
Amazing that some people have actually said, if this doesn't move the country to defund Planned Parenthood, what would?
I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up.
It took a president to get it done. That dream became a reality because we had a president who said, we're going to do it, and actually got it accomplished.
You voted against the Civil Rights Act in 1964. Would you do so today?
I would have to vote against it.
In 1964, during the presidential election of that year, I was a Goldwater girl. I mean, really.
Did I say that? Did I say that, people? Did I say what she was? See, I let her say it herself. I wasn't done. I'm not done. I'm not done.
We used to wear, little banners which said Goldwater girl.
Extremism in the defense of liberty is no vice.
When I left law school, my first job was with the Children's Defense Fund.
Well, Hillary Clinton's an old friend, but they're not friends in politics. We profoundly disagreed with the forms of the welfare reform bill.
By the time Bill and I left the White House, welfare rolls had dropped 60%.
Many years after that, when many people are pronouncing welfare reform a great success, we've got growing child poverty. The poor are suffering.
My first job was with the Children's Defense Fund.
Then they'd have to talk about the Clintons' past.
I mean, I could
the
put
same
this on
Confederate
Curtis of the
flag Reed
Clintons.
Newsom took down from above the South Carolina State House represents the exact same slave-owning and traitorous Confederacy for which Bill Clinton signed a resolution stating that the highest star on the Arkansas flag represented. To this day, they still have an official Confederate Flag Day. And not only did Bill and Hillary never say anything about this, but for 12 years, they celebrated the Confederacy too. I wouldn't want to talk about my past either if I were them.
But they're for her.
We just had the tape. You just said that I complimented the Republican ideas. That is not true. What I said is that Ronald Reagan was a transformative political figure because he was able to get Democrats to vote against their economic interests to form a majority.
Because he made fucking sense.
Majority to push through their agenda, an agenda that I objected to because while I was working on those streets, watching those folks see their jobs shipped overseas, you were a corporate lawyer sitting on the board of Walmart.
The persistent scourge of child labor.
I'm always proud of Walmart and what we do.
Clinton also took a role in supporting a Buy America program.
One of the reasons we want to buy America is because we love America.
Walmart continued to get most of its products from overseas during its Buy America program, including from this factory in Bangladesh that used 11 and 12-year-old girls.
The persistent scourge of child labor.
When he was in trouble in the polls over Jennifer Flowers, he went back to Arkansas, of which he was still governor, and supervised the execution of a mentally disabled, in fact, a lobotomized black defendant.
Did you hear this, people? Let me bring this back. I had to let the cat. I'm trying to do two things at one time. Give you the real truth.
When he was in trouble in the polls over Jennifer Flowers, he went back to Arkansas, of which he was still governor, and supervised the execution of a mentally disabled, in fact, a lobotomized black defendant called Ricky Ray Rector. He didn't know he'd been sentenced to death. He didn't understand when they came to give him his last meal what was happening. Or any other week would have received clemency from the governor, because there was no one in the prison thought he should be executed. The prison chaplain resigned on the issue. It was like killing a child.
New Hampshire tonight has made Bill Clinton the comeback kid.
Almost 25% of the world's total prison population. The numbers today are much higher than they were.
Listen, people. She knew this the whole time. She was with Barack, before Barack. She knew what it was. Anyone telling you that they're for this fucking creature.
40 years ago, this bill would have put more police on the street, would have locked up violent offenders so they never could get out again, would have given more prison construction money.
And soon, Democrats began competing with Republicans to prove they could be even tougher on them. And so it was President Bill Clinton who escalated the drug war far beyond what his Republican predecessors even dreamed possible. And it was President Clinton that championed laws denying federal financial aid to drug offenders for college. It was President Clinton who championed laws banning people with criminal convictions from access to public housing so that people wouldn't have housing upon release from prison. It was the Clinton administration that championed laws denying even food stamps under federal law to people who were once caught with drugs. To a large extent, the basic architecture of this new caste system was championed by a Democratic administration desperate to win back the so-called white swing voters.
And this same Democratic system today is the same one fucking over everybody. People, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, people.
To bring them to heal, 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 bring them to heal.
Now, all that other shit in the background I don't know about, but she said that shit.
The President of the United States, Bill Clinton. The woman who was standing beside Bill Clinton when he signed the Welfare Act admitted before she died that it was the wrong move, that working didn't help her. She worked at a job where she made a little bit of money, and even if after she made a little bit of money, she still couldn't afford her medicine. Clinton used her, just like he used black people, just like Hillary Clinton is using black people now. I'm kind of tired of being used.
By the time Bill and I left the White House, welfare rolls had dropped 60%.
I'm sorry to say, what I thought would happen has happened. This was a blunderbuss. This was just an axe, a hatchet. 6 million, 2% of our population have no income except those food stamps. The food stamps is the sole thing that stands between them and being totally without any income.
I want to talk about this story that CNN.com put out dealing with the recession worsens racial wealth gap. Whites have a net worth about 20 times that of blacks and about 18 times
Leave it
that
up to
of
these
Hispanics. Who's to blame for this?
She was very close to Robert Rubin, to Lawrence Summers, to the people in the Clinton administration who gave us the radical deregulation of Wall Street. So they're the ones that opened the door to the Wall Street thieves that brought on the Great Recession.
I mean, damn,
Hillary
this
Clinton
is a
has not
Clinton's
been a friend
volume
to
2.
black people. We're not just talking about mass incarceration. This duo has gutted and devastated the black community. You can draw a line from the evaporation of black wealth in the black community back to the deregulation of the Clinton years. I would be hard pressed to find, in recent memory, another president who's been quite as damaging.
New York has spent a considerable amount of money and effort devising
all behind
very
her.
good tests. I will end the unfunded mandate known as No Child Left Behind. I do not believe that our children are little test takers. And I do not believe that our teachers should be nothing but test givers. When you narrow the curriculum and you focus just on those tests, you really demoralize teachers.
Perhaps the most important wreckage to take a look at is really the wreckage of the Democratic Party.
In this campaign, the nation has had to forgive you early and often. We have forgiven you your misspeaking about Martin Luther King's relative importance to the civil rights movement.
New York City, Hillary State, the best nominee that's possible. And the Democrats are throwing the election away. For what? An inadequate black male who would not have been running had it not been a white woman that was running for president.
We have forgiven you the 3 a.m. phone call commercial.
It's 3 a.m. and your children are safe and asleep. But there's a phone in the White House and it's ringing. Something's happening in the world. Your vote will decide who answers that call.
We already
Whether it's
chose.
someone who already knows the world's leaders, knows the military, someone tested and ready to lead in a dangerous world. It's 3 a.m. and your children are safe and asleep. Who do you want answering the phone?
I'm Hillary Clinton, and I approve this message.
We have forgiven you President Clinton's disparaging comparison of the Obama candidacy to Jesse Jackson's.
Jesse Jackson won South Carolina twice in '84 and '88.
I think people want change. I think they want to get beyond some of the racial politics that has been so dominant in the past.
We have forgiven you for your boasting of your support among hardworking Americans, white Americans.
Remember how they was trying to play Dumbo face Barack Obama? Remember the race politics then, people. Let's not have such short memory spans about the Clintons. This is currently a Good Morning Uncle Tom, called the Clintons Volume 2 version. We are almost done with the Clinton Volume 2 version, and then I will definitely indulge in the chat.
Senator Obama's support among hardworking Americans, white Americans, is weakening again.
We have even forgiven you repeatedly praising Senator McCain at Senator Obama's expense and at your own expense and at the Democratic ticket's expense.
I have a lifetime of experience that I will bring to the White House. I know Senator McCain has a lifetime of experience that he will bring to the White House. Globalist. 2002.
He's a fine man. He is a very fine man.
We need a nominee who can pass the Commander-in-Chief test. Senator McCain will bring a lifetime of experience, and Senator Obama will bring a speech that he gave in 2002.
Hillary Clinton has been very supportive of John McCain.
Globalist.
It says no Barack Obama gets up here.
We have forgiven you exploiting Jeremiah Wright in front of the editorial board of the lunatic fringe Pittsburgh Tribune.
But we ain't forget you about Danny Williams.
We have forgiven you exploiting William Ayers in front of the debate on ABC. We have forgiven you the photos of Osama bin Laden in an anti-Obama ad.
Now, my husband did not wrap up the nomination in 1992 until he won the California primary somewhere in the middle of June, right? We all remember Bobby Kennedy was assassinated in June.
This nation's deepest shame, its most enduring horror, is political assassination. A person who can let hang in midair the prospect that she might just be sticking around in part just in case the other guy gets shot has no business being the President of the United States.
We all remember Bobby Kennedy was assassinated in June.
Today is the 12th of January 2016, 6 years after the earthquake, and for us it was important to be in front of the Clinton Foundation because Bill Clinton, as head of...
So we know there's no Russian collusion because even the news knows it. So why isn't the news, why is it the Uncle Toms in these pictures here talking about still 8 years later, the Clinton Foundation has yet to use that $2 billion they raised to actually fix the infrastructure of Haiti. Every person that has donated money to the Clinton Foundation and to the Haiti Relief should now ask for their donations to be rescinded. And what you should definitely do is inform them that it was done so in mistake. That way they have to give it back to you. Doesn't matter how long ago you noticed it. If you noticed it, you can still retrieve your funds if it was done so by mistake. You could have pressed the button by mistake, people. Just saying.
The interim Haiti Recovery Commission was responsible for the $6 billion. He had unlimited control of this money. 6 years after
$6 billion.
After the earthquake, Haiti is in worse condition than it was in 2010. Only Bill Clinton can tell the world what happened with this money.
Dirty Dick Bill.
I know we can make college affordable and get
Look at this piece of shit behind this piece of shit talking too. Look at these motherfucking devils.
dead off the.
And look at all these. Look at the devil little bitch to his left. And look at all the devils in the background, happy of the accomplishments of their racist agenda of destroying America and all of Americans that are enthusiasts of a collected America, of a real great America, of America where all citizens are actually working and participating in the economic state and military function and social function of making sure that the nation continues to be great. These fucking devils and these fucking videos right now are the worst kind of people. And these fucking devils, these Uncle Toms I'm currently surrounded by, are the worst kind of people. They're even worse than this bitch and her fucking dirty dick. They're worse than them because they know exactly what they are, and they're trying to force them down our throats until we are all being shoved in ditches.
The backs of young people.
I don't think she should be getting paid that much, honestly. You're already a wealthy person. Why do you need more?
Higher education shouldn't be a privilege for those able to afford it. It should be an opportunity widely available for anyone with the talent, determination, and ambition to learn.
I do not favor abolishing it, however, because I think there are certain egregious cases that still deserve the consideration of the death penalty. All lives matter. We cannot keep imprisoning more people than anybody else in the world.
Does no one else see the
But she's responsible for the imprisoning of more people than anyone in the world.
hypocrisy? Forget about super predators in the 1994 crime bill. When Hillary Clinton said this, she was actively using lobbyists from two major private prison companies to raise campaign cash. And she only stopped taking money from associates of the GEO Group and Corrections Corporations of America after Black Lives Matter and other activists confronted her.
And then they bought out Black Lives Matter.
But even now, she has campaign staffers that lobby
$100 million. $100 million, $100 million, $100 million, and she went in the ghetto, and she run in the ghetto
directly for GEO Group on her payroll.
Do you still have the support of Hillary Clinton?
I still support her, and that question of whether I continue to have her support is up to her, but I feel pretty confident I do.
You cannot call yourself an ally if you are going to stand behind a mayor of a city who actively participated in the suppression of a dash cam video showing an execution by a Chicago police officer of a young black man.
Hillary Clinton, she's come out and said that she supports the mayor, she backs the mayor. I don't understand, looking at the evidence that we now know is public, how any person, particularly a presidential candidate, can stand behind someone like Rahm Emanuel.
Madam Secretary, in receiving Planned Parenthood's founder Margaret Sanger's award in Houston on March 27th, you said that you were, quote,
she got an award in this bitch's name.
In awe of Margaret Sanger. You said that Sanger's life and leadership was one of the most transformational in the entire history of the human race, and that Sanger's work both here and abroad was not done, quote unquote. With all due respect, Madam Secretary, Sanger's legacy was indeed transformational. but not for the better if one happens to be poor, disenfranchised, weak, disabled, a person of color, an unborn child, or among the many so-called undesirables Sanger would exclude and exterminate from the human race. Sanger's prolific writings drip with contempt for those she considers to be unfit to live. I've actually read many of Sanger's articles and her books. Sanger was an unapologetic eugenicist.
Your remarks last month when you called Margaret Sanger the founder of Planned Parenthood, a person whom you enormously admire, were stunning to me. Margaret
it's a
Sanger
Republican saying it to this bitch.
Bigotry and racism. She advocated for the elimination of the disabled, the downtrodden,
Shout out to Jeff
and the black child.
Fortenberry.
In one of her writings, she said, "Today, eugenics is suggested by the most diverse minds as the most adequate and thorough avenue to the solution of racial, political, and social problems."
Let me say, with respect to your comments about Margaret Sanger, you know, I admire Thomas Jefferson. I admire his words and his leadership, and I deplore his unrepentant slaveholding. I admire Margaret Sanger.
Margaret Sanger. She was a eugenist who was hailed last month by our own Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton.
I admire Margaret Sanger enormously. Her courage, her tenacity, her vision. I am really in awe of her.
Okay. Not only did Hillary Clinton say that, listen how she compared Sanger to one of our founding fathers last week.
I admire Thomas Jefferson. I admire his words and his leadership, and I deplore
I broke down
his
Thomas Jefferson in the past show to you
slaveholding.
guys. I know you know.
I admire Margaret Sanger being a pioneer in trying to empower women to have some control over their bodies, and I deplore statements that you have referenced. That is the way we often are when we look at flawed human beings. There are things that we admire and things we deplore.
Angela Franks is the author of Margaret Sanger's Eugenic Legacy, the Control of Female Fertility. You know, Angela, Thomas Jefferson was a man in great conflict. He is not one of my favorite founding fathers because he was divided in himself. He was in great turmoil within himself. Was Margaret Sanger in that kind of turmoil? It seems to me that she was pretty much consistent.
That's correct. Jefferson, you can argue, Jefferson didn't devote his life towards promoting slavery. Margaret Sanger did devote her life to promoting eugenics, and so the analogy is not very appropriate.
Okay, eugenics, by the way, is what ended up as the Holocaust. It was making the perfect race. It was getting rid of people. In fact, the progressives
eugenics
in the
started the
1900s,
Holocaust.
They went into prisons and they wanted to I think it was was it in Indiana?
Yo, people, what are you not getting, man? I'm breaking it down to you, man. This is called the Clintons Volume 2, Good Morning Coons. I mean, I said Good Morning Coons. I am a coon. Good morning, Uncle Tom!
Where they were getting rid of some of the prison population because if we can off them, then they won't reproduce, and then we'll have the master race. We also have Margaret Sanger. Can we put the picture of Margaret Sanger up here? This is Margaret Sanger at a Klan rally, which a lot of the early progressives were Klan members. I mean, Woodrow Wilson was one of the most racist men to ever be in the White House, and he's a progressive hero.
Democrat. Broke that down too, my show.
Did she ever disavow them? Did she ever walk away and say, boy, you know, that whole Holocaust thing, that was a mistake?
Well, I think you can argue that Sanger herself didn't hold anti-Semitic attitudes. Her first husband was Jewish, for example. But she promoted a thought world. She promoted an ideology that leads to things like the Holocaust. She divided the world up into the fit and the unfit.
Right. Wasn't Planned Parenthood part of the idea was to get rid of some of the poor babies, get rid of some of the black babies?
The poor have always been the target of eugenicists, from Sanger to Hitler to everybody.
But not African Americans.
Well, Sanger herself didn't say that blacks per se were unfit, but what you see is you can have a racist effect even if you don't have a racist intent, and that's what you see with somebody like Sanger. So she's promoting, implying that if you're poor, you're unfit and that you need to use birth control, and she's saying that the problems of the world are caused by poor people having babies, and this kind of attitude ends up affecting people like racial minorities, people who are in power.
we're gonna get a call into the show right now. I'm gonna call one of my show moderators. She wanted to get in on the show. Let me get one of my mics up too. Hold on, Annie. We're gonna get you on the show live. Give me 1 second. Let me get one of my mics ready because I was just using the mic off the cam. Let me
Why? What is it?
The mic allows it just picks up everything clearer. So it'd just be better for me to have the mic on right now while I talk to you. That way everyone can hear you out there without any breakups or interruptions or anything of the sort.
What are we talking about?
You said you wanted to call in. You said you wanted to do a voiceover.
No. I said I was talking to. Oh, I'll do it. But I was talking to someone or one of them. They said they have a chat where you can do a voice thing.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. But by the way, I'm telling you, take it from me. I've been watching Donald John Trump's chat, and he is a troll. That man is on the side fucking with us and telling us that we're stupid, and on the front giving you thumbs up. I'm just telling you, I've been watching it, and I'm not down for it. I called him out today. He's a troll, straight up, fucking troll. You could ask. I've had people text me about him and say this. He's been calling him fabulous ghetto and telling them that they're stupid.
They need to screenshot that. And they need to send that as proof because anything else would just be an accusation, and an accusation is something that we're not gonna just make it a fact. You understand what I'm saying? Like we don't want to make it a fact. He could disagree with anybody he chooses to disagree with. That's his human right. You know what I mean? That the idea for everyone to agree with me is an idea that's just preposterous. So as long as if anyone has anything derogatory to say, let it be geared towards me. You understand? And if at any point you see anyone, it doesn't matter, even if it's you, if I see anyone being derogatory towards each other, I'm going to have to remove the person from the chat because people shouldn't experience that within each other in the chat. If someone says something to me or if someone says something and they disagree or they say I disagree, they should be able to say it. But now I don't want someone saying anyone's stupid for something they said or anything to the point of that because that's not how we heal. That's not how we listen. That's not how we do things. I informed him when y'all spoke yesterday that you did have research that you did and he would be able to go view it. But if someone's telling you that he's saying something or he's done something, then they need to have screenshots.
I've been watching how he's been treating people. He acts like he's just above us all and he's so damn smart and we're all just stupid because we're from the ghetto or because we're Mexican or because we might. And he said, what kind of fucking research would you people do anyway? Like calling us people. Like what kind of people are you talking about? Us being like not white? I don't even want to go there as far as the races. But who's even behind the fucking picture, man?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, cause you don't even know. That's what I'm saying. Like, you don't even know what color. You don't even know what color he is. Because when he say you people, he could just be meaning like, whoever you are. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to give anyone any outs, but I don't want to throw anyone under the bus without having any specific evidence on anybody. Like, you see how people say Donald Trump is a racist? And people say that all the time. People say because of his demeanor that he thinks that he's better or he's a bully or whatever, but he's just assertive. You understand? And some people take different people's personalities different. That's why a lot of signs don't get along. Some people don't believe in astrology, but I believe in human orientation. And I believe some people just aren't going to tickle each other's fancies. I don't think that we're all meant to exist to agree with each other. But until you get it, like when someone tells you that or they telling you that he's trolling or whatever and they don't have screenshots to give you the information, just take it as the same thing they do with Donald Trump. When someone says Trump is a racist and they don't have any tape being played. When Osmosis say that she has a tape of Trump being a racist and that would make more money than she's ever made in her whole entire life to just play the shit one time. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's like there's an idea, and there's an idea that if people can get in and get into someone ear that I say is my go-to, my Annie, my second, and they can tell Annie something, and they can start that kind of discourse within this family, within our family, without us being able to come to each other and say, hey man, you kind of hurt my feelings by what you said. I didn't appreciate it. Yeah. And here's some information that I have. Maybe you should just look at it. And then if someone's just derogatory after that, then we're all gonna, go after them. Because as a family, we're all for, positivity. But it's on how we handle each other while we are in the chat, while we are amongst each other, that proves that we remain a family. So when someone is telling you that about him, sum it up as to they're saying Trump is a racist up until the point of they're showing you physical proof of it. Because that's something that's irrefutable. You understand? Like, no one else can have his name but him. You feel me?
Yeah, I understand. I got what you're saying. Okay, I'm just letting you know what I'm hearing. I'll tell them what you said. I don't know, how to deal with it, but I dealt with.
I'm sure that if they're watching this show, I'm sure if they're watching this show, then I'm sure that they already know that I will not entertain any kind of gossip. That I would much rather someone bring actual physical evidence to produce in front of me, because people said a lot of things about me and it wasn't right. You understand? And the things that are right, I'll be the first to admit. So we want to give everyone we want to give everyone the benefit of the doubt. And if I'm wrong, if I'm wrong and giving it the benefit of the doubt, then I'll be man enough to be wrong in that sense. It's cool. We got a lot more important things to discuss than people saying what someone else is. We have people out there literally trying to throw us all in ovens. I know. Like, you understand?
You're right. They're trying to kill us. What about this shit? Put me on live if you want to put me on live. I don't care.
You're live. You're live right now. Everything we said has been live. We're live. We are live.
Like, that's the thing. I mean, everybody got to understand, like, they're trying to kill us. Like, people want to, they want to say, oh, no, that's just that's just too far. That's not going to happen. No. They want us fucking dead. Right now, they're burning people out of their fucking homes in California all over the place. Because damn Obama and them sold that fucking state to China. And it's like burning your fucking flesh while you sleep. And that whole state is just in an uproar. And then you got hurricanes coming, from the man-made shit that they're trying to kill
from heart.
Like, literally try to fucking kill us, And so I'm just like, people are like, come and be like, what are we going to do about our country? Well, shit, I mean, we done gave it away because we haven't woken up a long time ago.
We still got time. That's the reason why we still have time. Listen, we still got time. That's the reason why Donald Trump's election was so important. That's the reason why the media is in such an uproar, and every politician that's actually dirty is the grass is cut. The snakes is showing. Everyone that's gunning for Donald Trump right now is currently showing that they're the snakes. Not only are they showing that they're the snakes because they're not actual participants in the democratic process of this republic, because if they was and they would respect the decision of the people and they wouldn't be in the hindrance of the president, they would actually go with the flow and all work like they're supposed to in unison. Having party divisions doesn't mean that the parties are supposed to not work with each other. That just means that they have different ideas on how the task at hand should come across, but they're supposed to find a medium to work together to have these things accomplished. And currently the left is totally ignoring their responsibility. The reason why they're doing so is because they're not an actual democratic process party. There are people within our side of the aisle and predominantly on the Democratic side of the aisle that are just straight globalists trying to take over our country.
You socialists. You're talking about the Socialist Party, or the fucking.
I'm talking about all them damn Democrats. Right? They're all Nazis.
When you say it's not Illuminati, you say it's globalist. What's the?
Okay, the Illuminati was it was started within the Freemason Lodge, and I don't want to get too much into this because people the powers that be has tend to throw Freemasonry under the guise of devil worship and under the guise of the New World Order takeover, when in fact the Masonic Temple wasn't made for that initially. It was made by the Knights of Templar, who was trying to flee the oppression of a then and now current corrupt Catholic Church. Now what happened was, I believe his name was Adam Weishaupt. He infiltrated the Masonic Lodge with the thought of illumination, the enlightened ones, those who thought of other deities or other thoughts of existence aside from Christianity. At the time, religious dogma was absolute, and anyone that was going against the Catholic Church was anathematized due to their difference in opinion. So people sought private lodges to talk and converse about the discussions of life. People often say that the Masonic Lodge holds rituals that the devil worshipped, but the rituals actually depict Freemasons that died to keep the secrets that were held in the lodges, and the secrets just pretty much dealt with the inner workings of man. The change in the perversion of the Masonic Lodge came when its introduction was accepted in the U.S. and then changed by let me get this guy's name, man. It's been a while since I've had to go through all of this off my head. It's Pike. His name is Pike. His name is Albert Pike. No, I got it. I'm here, people. I'm here. And I'm glad you're doing this because it's showing people where I am as far as the information is concerned. Albert Pike took control of the Masonic Temple, and then he used the Masonic Temple to help the globalist agenda. He used the Masonic Temple to help the racist agenda, and then he transformed the Masonic Temple into a tool used today by globalists. But the actual so-called elite are the Trilateral Group, which Trump was never part of. The Bilderberg Group, which Trump has never been a part of, and these are groups that he's these are groups that he's openly showed his disdain to. He's publicly came out and he's talked against these groups. These groups are the so-called elitists, but their actual name we cannot pronounce. I will not even pronounce on the air because I'm pretty sure the program will probably just cease to exist. Period. But this cabal, this group of individuals, are currently doing something called a culling. That is where it's called trimming the fat. They are currently killing off as many people, period, as they can. This is globally. There's been a global genocide of people, of all poor people currently, and they are swiping up and taking land that they are trying to divvy up for themselves. So the 500 million of their bloodline that remains will be the inhabitants of this planet. Damn, Tone, that was deep. I know. I had to catch up with myself just now.
You get too deep. You get too deep for some people, and that's the problem with this shit. I keep saying this shit is not for the fucking... I keep saying this shit is not for the weak-minded or the weak at heart. If you can't handle it, click it off. You don't have to be a fucking bitch about it. You know what I mean? And that's what I tell people on my channel. Like, you don't get it, you don't want to hear it because you can't wrap your mind around it yet. And some people are in a red pill journey.
Watch this. Yes. Watch this. Let me tell you something. People call Trump a racist because he doesn't want the Confederate statues taken down. But the real reason he doesn't want them taken down is because the majority of those Confederate statues that are up label these Confederates Democrats. The thing is, he doesn't want the history to be taken down because he wants people to know who the fuck was responsible for it.
That's the fucking problem. Oh, Tony, I gotta fucking tell you. That's the fucking problem with the fucking schools in this goddamn country. They will not tell the Democratic truth. They will not say the Dems are the party of slavery. The Democratic Party were the ones who held people in chains and are still today holding fucking people in chains because they cannot release you off that fucking plantation because if they did, there's nobody to vote. Why do you think they're fucking letting these illegal motherfuckers come into this country and be like, oh yes, we give you everything while we say fuck you. The Mexicans used to be the party or the people they wanted to vote for. Now they pushed us over to the side. They left DACA dead, and they're like, oh, bring in all the illegals because that's going to vote. I mean, my brother said that in LA County right now, they are signing up millions of illegals to vote for this November and the next election, and nobody's getting a fucking ID. Nobody's getting ID. It's like, who are you? Oh, we don't give a fuck. Go ahead and just put your name down. We'll fucking, yeah, you can vote. You can vote twice. Shit, you think that's how Hillary Clinton fucking won? That's how Hillary Clinton fucking won. Dead people. People voting twice. And fucking, and there's, like, dead people voting twice, and illegals. And you want to say she won? No, she fucking cheated. She didn't fucking win. She fucking cheated. And that's fucking a red pill for your ass right there. But I get heated. I get mad about that shit, man. People
all right. I want to thank you for calling. I want to thank you for calling, Annie. I want to thank you for calling. I gotta let you go. All right, people. I'm going to need everyone here to do me a favor, please, and allow me a moment. Please do remember that the New Right Party channel and the New Red Party show is sponsored by patriots like you. And as long as you're sending these donations, it allows me to create the content that will continue to make these motherfuckers sick. As you were.
He's on fire!
Here I am. I'm back, people. I'm back. I'm sorry for the quick delay. I had to use the bathroom. So, excuse me. Shout out to Annie. I'm sorry, Annie. I had to get you off the phone. I had to use the bathroom. Let me check the chat. Sorry, y'all. I'm checking the chat, trying to keep up with the chat. All right, I'm kind of caught up. With everything going on. Everybody in the chat. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. We have been live currently for for long enough. I think we probably passed the show's limit. I think we've been in here for a while now. Let me see. Nope. Actually, no. Let me see. 1, 2. Yep, we just hit that 2-hour mark just now. Everyone, I want to tell you, thanks for anything answering the phone. I want to thank all the viewers that has took the time to tune in. And I want you to remember, stay safe, stay healthy, stay American. Okay? You know what I do. I get in here and I educate these mofos. Everyone, I'm trying to make it to September's rally. Every donation counts. And I'm using every donation to make sure that this is accomplished. And then when I'm there, I'm able to provide you guys with even better content than I can now. I do currently have the capability of us shooting outside. We can shoot live, and I have tons of camera equipment and stuff that we can use, but we need to get it there. I also want to have a camera crew there that that can actually help me while I do live interviews of morons that are outside trying to disrupt this great accomplishment that our president has done for the American people. I appreciate everyone for tuning in. For those that cannot donate anything, sharing the content, it does just the same for me. Please tell everyone on your social media platforms where they can find the shows that they've been seeing on their social media, and they can find answers to tons of things. I have tons of content up already. I will be doing the original shows over that did not have the actual set. I'm currently in my new home. I've done the looking around. It's pretty much everything set up. We just have to get the rest of the studio stuff here, and that will be done before September's out. And we will have a how-to video on how to broadcast, how my studio will be set up. We will be showing everyone everything, showing everyone what the participation is done for the channel and for our movement. Again, stay safe, stay healthy, stay American. One. Please do remember that the New Right Party channel and the New Red Party show is sponsored by patriots like you. And as long as you're sending these donations, it allows me to create the content that will continue to make these motherfuckers sick. As you were.
He's on fire! Versus the family and my family entertainment and his team no sleep. Flossy high and yeah we made it. The haters keep on hating on the songs that we be making, and I heard they want my soul Illuminati wanna take it. Versus the family and my family entertainment and his team no sleep. Flossy high and yeah we made it. The haters keep on hating on the songs that we be making, and I heard they want my soul Illuminati wanna take it.
CEO, bullshit, paying for the pussy. I endorse it. Riding through the city. That's my